Hi everyone, this is Lovelin Johnson, and today we are going to be looking at the law of curiosity from the 15 invaluable laws of growth. Before we get started, I have a question for you. In the past week, how many times did you give an answer versus ask a question? If there is a ratio, what would the ratio be? Are you quick to speak, or are you a curious person who wants to know why and you ask more questions? The law of curiosity states that growth is stimulated by asking why. Here's a quote by George Bernard Shaw that I really loved. Some men look at things as they are and ask why. Others dream things that never were and ask why not. Which camp do you fall into? Because I often see people who kind of go through the motion. They don't question life, they go with the flow, they take the known path and they tread that way. And then there are people who would constantly question why. Why should I do this? Why are we doing this way? They're just curious. They're constantly asking these why questions. And then there are people who wonder and they ask, why not? They are the dreamers. They think about the impossible, the things that have not happened yet, and they think, why not? How do we cultivate curiosity? The book talks about 10 principles, and we are going to be looking at 6 of them. Number 1, believe you can be curious. Our own lack of self confidence often acts as a barrier in terms of curiosity. We looked at a door, it's locked, and what we think to ourselves is, the door is locked. I can't go through it. But we don't find ways to find the key, break open the door to go through it because we are not curious. And the reason we are not curious is our own limiting beliefs standing in front of us and not helping us see the possibilities that are there. So often we are not really limited by our potential. We are not really limited by our skills, talents, but we are limited by the way we think. And because we have limiting beliefs, that comes across and it stops us from doing bigger things. One of my favorite quotes in the book states that we cannot perform outwardly in a way that is inconsistent with how we think inwardly. So our outward action is all a reflection of what we think inwardly. If I think I cannot do it, then I will never see the possibilities that I can. But if I think I can, I'm going to look at possibilities. I will start asking, how can I? What should I be doing? And then it opens doors for you. But it all starts from here, how you think. The second principle for curiosity is having a beginner's mindset. The way we approach life has nothing to do with our age, and it has got everything to do with our attitude. And so how do we show up? When we have a beginner's mindset, we don't have a great image to uphold too. We are free to make mistakes because we are new to this process and we are learning, we are asking questions. And the more we do that, the greater we grow. And once we think we know it all, we stop learning because we think we are the experts. What's there to learn? I already know everything. And when you have that mindset, the know-it-all mindset, you stop learning, you stop growing. And I see it like this marble statue. It's beautiful, it's polished, it's perfect, but then it stays that way. But when you embrace the attitude of learning, you are no longer going to be that statue which is fixed in time. You're going to constantly learn, evolve, and become a better person because of your attitude. So have a learning attitude, because when you are having a learning attitude, you look at it as a seed. You're a sapling. And as you keep growing, there is life that is happening when you are learning. However, when you have that fixed mindset of, I already know, you stop learning, you stop growing. And that's not good for you. The third principle is make why your favorite word. I like how John says that when he started in his leadership journey, he was this answering machine. When people asked him a question, he thought as a leader, he should have answers. And so he would give any answer, like he would think about something and he would give an answer. But later on, he found that giving answer is not the right way. Asking questions is the right way. So he became a questioning machine. He would be intentional about asking questions, and he would come up with a lot of questions and he would ask them. And what did the questions do? It stimulated people's thinking and they went on to do better things, because before it was solution oriented. He would give some answer, people would just run with it, compared to asking question and triggering their insights. And when that happened, wonderful things came out of it. Make why your favorite word. So every time you're in a conversation with someone, ask why. Ask why they are doing that. Question their assumption. And the more you are curious and generating these conversations, the more clarity the person you are having a conversation would get, and you would be blessed because you are learning, you're growing because of your questions. But if you're talking, there's not much growth because you're giving the information you already have. But when you're asking questions, you receive a lot because that's when growth happens. Number 4, learn something new every day. I would encourage this because when I thought about it, I'm actually someone who loves learning. I'm constantly learning. I'm sort of like a growth junkie. You give me anything, I can read books all day long and I would never get tired of it. But I would also ask you to act on it because you can keep on learning. But if you don't take time to reflect on your learning, then it doesn't really become actionable items. So, as much as you have to learn every day, at the end of the day, reflect and ask questions. What did I learn? How did I see this differently? The more you ask these questions, the more your learning takes root. So I would encourage you to not just learn, but ask reflective questions that would cement your learning. Number 5, spend time with other curious people. Curious people add fuel to the flames. One person's why sparks another person's what if. And when they add all their curiosity together, they keep this fire going. And I would encourage you to think about the 5 people you hang out with. Are they curious people? Are they asking you questions? Are they challenging your assumptions? Or are they always making you feel comfortable? Or are they prompting questions that make you think and feel uncomfortable? Because you want the people closest to you to sharpen your thinking, to challenge some of the assumptions that you may have. And so I would encourage you to examine the 5 people you hang out with and ask, how do they show up? And ask yourself, how do I show up? Do I sharpen the thinking of my friends? Do I go as a curious person and prompt questions, or am I always giving solutions and answering things? So I would encourage you to be a curious person because that makes a huge impact to your inner circle. Number 6, make failure your friend. This is going to be my new favorite. Often people look at me, my entrepreneurial journey, and say, what if you fail in it? My answer to them now is, so what? I am not going to be the same when I pass through this journey of failure, because I've attempted things, I've done different things, I've walked out of my comfort zone and gotten into the discomfort zone. I've learned, I've grown, I will never be the same because I walked through this journey. So I would encourage you, if you didn't fail lately, that means you are in your comfort zone. That means you're embracing and doing the things that you already know, the safe things. I would encourage you to try new things and embrace that as a badge of honor. Ask questions. So what if I fail? And when you failed, think about why did you fail and take some lessons from it. And because of that comes growth. If you get 10 rejections, why did all the 10 people reject? And when you answer those questions, you're going to go back at the 11th time with a better insight, and you will never be the same. So I would encourage you to keep failure as your friend. Embrace failure. Is failure hard? It absolutely is. It is bitter. It makes you wonder, what am I doing? Why does this keep happening to me? But when you take growth and learning from it, you will never be the same. And over time, you will understand how much this failure has shaped you. So I would encourage you to think about your last failure. What did you say after that last failure? Did you say, I'm never going to do this? Or did you take time to reflect and ask, why did this happen? What could I learn from it? And then came to this conclusion of whether you shouldn't be doing it or maybe find a different way to do it. Did you take time to evaluate your failures? Because if you don't, you are not going to get lessons from it, and you're going to just have this blanket statement that I'm not going to do it again. But maybe you can do it differently, and that would lead to success. What could we learn from applying the law of curiosity? I would encourage you to think about the 3 to 5 areas in your life and ask, how curious are you? Are you having a beginner's mindset? Are you constantly having an attitude of learning and growth? Do you stay curious? Do you ask more questions? Or are you an answering machine? You're constantly giving answers. That's something I would evaluate. And another thing is, evaluate your inner circle. Is your inner circle being curious? Because if they are curious, they're going to be asking you questions. And how do you show up to your inner circle? Because when you are curious, you're going to change your inner circles. The last one is, I'm going to encourage you to embrace failure. Because when you see failure as your friend, you have nothing to be afraid of. And you will never be the same when you take time to evaluate your failures. So I would like to end with a question. Are you going to take the safe path? A path that is often taken. It is safe. You could do it with your eyes closed. Or are you going to take the curious path? Not many people have walked in it. You're going to try, you're going to fail, and you're going to keep embracing it. But when you take the curious path, growth explodes. I hope you found this lesson helpful. Next week, we will be looking at the law of modeling. I hope to see you there.